Ancelotti frustrated there as his team gets nothing from their trip to Seville. Real Betis 2-1 winners. Let's hear post-game from the aforementioned Manuel Pellegrini.
Yes, with Manuel Pellegrini, congratulations on this win. What do you think it was the key of this success after needing to come from behind this Real Madrid?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I think that the key was the personality that we had from the beginning of the game to try to win our game here at home. Not only to try to have a result, a positive result, and trying just defending if we can do some counter-attacks to score a goal. I think that from the beginning we play in the same way we play against any rival that comes here to our home. And from the beginning in the end of the game, I think that we play better than Real Madrid. We have more chances to score more goals. They didn't have any clear chances except the first goal. That's why I think that we deserve these 3 points.
And just the decisions of the winter market, do you think it make a difference, this version of Anthony, Cucho Hernandez, also Isco that returned in December?
Well, there are 3 very important players. I think that Anthony, we knew all about Isco, but Isco was coming from a long injury. Now he's playing again the same way that he knows how to do it, and he's a top player. I think Anthony also arrived in an important moment of the season, and he's demonstrating why Manchester United pay so many money for him. I'm very happy with him. Cucho is starting knowing our team, and he played also a very good game.
Big win for Pellegrini and company. They're now up to 6th, the last of the European spots in Spain. As for Real Madrid, obvious disappointment for Carlo Ancelotti, as they're now 3rd, looking up at both Atleti and Barcelona. Of course, they're going to play Atletico in the Champions League midweek. We saw there, he said if we play like they did today, they're not going to win on Tuesday. We bring in Luis Garcia, who, of course, played for Atleti. There we see it. If we play like this against Atletico Madrid, we will not win. Luis, it's pretty hard to argue with Carlo Ancelotti here, isn't it? Real Madrid were way off their best in this game.
Yeah, it would have been a surprise, Ancelotti on the press conference trying to give an answer or trying to bring something different than what we saw on the field, because it was very clear that the design determination of this team today, it wasn't there. They didn't have any intention of trying to harm Real Betis. They were there because they have to, and they thought that just with enough to scoring that first goal, it was going to be enough to get the result. So it's not that they are not going to win against Atletico Madrid in midweek. It's because if they continue playing this kind of football or this kind of, or with that kind of intensity, they are not going to win any more games. They're going to struggle every single weekend, because on these days everyone is playing to get something. Rayo Vallecano is going to try to get closer to European positions, and like this until the end of the season, everyone is got a lot on the stake. So they need to improve not only on football, but the mentality, because today they were not on the field, and I'm sure the Ancelotti is going to try to bring and change that mentality for the midweek game, because after what we saw in the game after Real Madrid, between Atletico Madrid and Athletic Club de Bilbao, it looked like a total different sport. So yeah, they need to improve a lot if they want to continue on the race of La Liga.
What was the biggest problem for you today, Ale, with Real Madrid?
Well, Manuel Pellegrini just mentioned a word there that I think is important, that his team, Betis, showed personality. I can tell you that Real Madrid had 0 personality today. Nothing. There was no substance today to Real Madrid. There was no intensity. There was no urgency, inability, and unwillingness to get close to the ball and pressure the ball all over the field. Inability and unwillingness to tackle the ball, to win duels, to run with people. No better example of that than the play that ends up being the penalty for Real Betis, where Jesus Rodriguez starts his run somewhere around midfield, runs by Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni sees him run by him, and it's like, oh, well, there he goes. And what's surprising is that we talked about it in the pregame. Mm-hmm. They are right now in a situation in which every single game they play matters. Not just Champions League against Atletico Madrid coming up now. No. Every game in La Liga is critically important because they're in the middle of a title race. And to the point that Luis was making, when you watch the intensity or lack thereof of Real Madrid today, the urgency or lack thereof of Real Madrid today as compared to what we saw from Atletico Madrid and even Athletic Club Bilbao later on in the day, one of those teams is in a title race and the other is kind of in a title race. Maybe in a title race. One is playing as if their lives depend on it, and the other one is kind of like, I don't think my life depends on this. I honestly think, from Real Madrid's perspective, to see players walking in the manner in which they were today, and I can mention Vini Jr., for example. When others were pressing the ball, he was just walking on the far side, not pressing with the rest of the group, because apparently that doesn't in any way bother him at all whatsoever. That's embarrassing. Because it's effort play. I'm not even talking about your quality as a player. I'm not talking about whether you can complete a pass from here to there. I'm talking about the very basic things that you need to do as a professional. Compete. I cannot tell you with certainty that everybody on the field for Real Madrid competed to the highest level possible. In fact, I can go the opposite way. There was no urgency. There was no fight.
There are some missing players, right? Big pieces, especially when you talk about like energy.
I don't care.
Okay, you don't care. Maybe Luis Garcia cares. When Real Madrid gets back, maybe a Jude Bellingham in midfield. Certainly an energy guy like Federico Valverde. Ceballos probably not coming back for a while, so you're not going to get him back. Does that fix these problems, or do you think the problems with Real Madrid, Luis, are much deeper than just getting some guys healthy?
No, of course, and definitely today it didn't help that the players with that bring some battle into the midfield, they were not there. Jude Bellingham or Valverde are one of those two hearts or lungs from this team, the ones who are box-to-box situation. They arrive into the last third. They are tracking back players. They bring that intensity into the midfield, so the rest can is a little bit. This is like everything is contagious. Today we saw that complacency that the Real Madrid player had, it was contagious by every single one of them. As soon as you could see Vinicius complaining, then the other one, and then the other one, every single game mattered, every single point mattered, because this year, especially this year, Atletico Madrid is ready to fight, is ready to rumble until the last minute. And we saw it today against Athletic Club de Bilbao, and we're going to see it until the last moment. There is a trophy that is going to be won by three teams, or one of those three teams, and you cannot draw points from now on. So every single game matters, not only the Champions League game that is the one that we enjoy. Today I'm not running, today I'm not bringing my best. I will do my best on the next game. So from now on, every single player of Real Madrid needs to understand that, and I'm sure that the mentality will change straight away for the midweek game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League.
Here's where I have a problem with the premise of just pointing at the injuries and saying, well, that solves everything for Real Madrid. You got a guy like Tchouaméni, for example, who has been playing as a center back, and there have been rumblings of him complaining that, I'm here as center back, I really want to play in the middle. Because of these injuries, Tchouaméni now gets an opportunity to play where he wants to play. And it is off his shoulder, off his back, that Jesus Rodriguez runs past him because he doesn't want to run and track back. Does that have anything to do with injuries? And the absence of Fede Valverde or the absence of Jude Bellingham? Does the starting 11 today for Real Madrid, on paper, do they look better than the starting 11 of Real Betis? Should they, at their highest level, beat Betis? Yes, they should, at their best level, when they're fully committed and fully engaged. Anything less than that brings Benito Villamarín, the stadium, into the picture, and the jumping fans, and the rain, and the environment, and the energy, and the excitement. All of those things that you're not bringing as a team, they are willing to bring. So while we can point the finger at injuries, and yes, that is factual, that they have had issues finding consistency in their starting lineup, regardless, those that get an opportunity to play, a guy like Tchouaméni, a guy like Arda Güler, who comes off the bench, and the first time that he goes and touches the ball, he gets pushed off the ball as if he's not even there, right in front of Carlo Ancelotti. What kind of message do you think you're sending to your manager when you get an opportunity to play, and this is the sort of effort that you put forth? Listen, injuries, sure, we can have that discussion, but it's not the reason as to why they lost today.
Is that a dressing room fix or a manager fix, this thing you're talking about?
Well, Carlo Ancelotti.
No one ever blames Carlo Ancelotti when it comes to the personality of his teams, but that's what we're talking about.
Carlo Ancelotti made it very clear in his statement post-match that we are not going to win like this. I don't think you can be any more clear than that to your players. But now it's whether these players actually, in some way, absorb that blame, process it, and know that there is something better to come, and that they have to demand better from themselves. While we can point the finger at the manager and we can point the finger at the players, it's both of them together. This team today, after they scored their goal in what was a very good combination, I mean, it looked good, they stopped playing. That is a problem. And that is a problem that happens on the field, and that is a problem that obviously was not addressed off the field. And if it was, because Ancelotti tried to make changes, and the players that he put out there, then Arda Güler is getting pushed off the ball, and you're kind of looking around and saying, well, who else am I going to put in there? They're short in numbers because of the injuries that you talked about. He tried to look for solutions. Those solutions did not show up. The whole team didn't show up today.
Yeah, if it's not the midfield, if it's not the forward line, if it's not the defense, to your point, it's the bench, and that could be a huge part with this very busy schedule. How big a concern is that, Luis, if you're Carlo Ancelotti, when you needed something in this game, certainly from an attacking standpoint? There just weren't the options there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Ancelotti hasn't been rotating as much during the whole season. I mean, we've been expecting Arda Güler, Hendrik to get more involved during the season. I think until no long ago, there were no more than 200 meters, 300 minutes, the one that they play, both of the players, is because this is what we got. Ancelotti looks on the bench and he thinks, okay, I'm going to bring Arda Güler. It's going to bring me something different. No, I'm not making changes. Is Hendrik going to bring me something different? No, until just a week ago when he showed intensity and he brought that fantastic goal. He brought something different. Okay, but I'm sure that Ancelotti is really worried about what can I do, because if I'm the one who had to push him, I'm not playing. I'm outside. I decide what kind of players and the system. But the intensity, the mentality, the desire, the commitment that Ali is mentioning is only on the players, on the side of the players. I cannot change the personality to a player and say, now, today you are going to play at 120% or you're going to bring the intensity higher. No, that's something on the players. And if I think, okay, you're not playing well, I'm going to replace you with someone else who brings something different, there is no anymore. There is not that many players who are on the bench waiting for that opportunity, or at least willing to give something extra. So yeah, it's a big concern for Real Madrid because, again, there is a game on midweek, and there is another one on the weekend, and there's another one on midweek, and that's going to be like this until the end of the season. And the rotation is not anymore over there because there is no replacement.